everyone, welcome back to the Grand Central location. And today we have a peaceful protest staged starting this morning at 8:30, and it's been 3 hours. And we have encountered many interesting things. The first thing is that there was a suspicious-looking Chinese man who came to our protesters, and he was trying to listen to our conversation. And so when our team member asked him, "Where are you from? Are you sent by the Chinese government's consulate in New York?" he immediately disappeared himself. I mean, so this is a very, very interesting. And another thing that is that there was one Westerner. He came to our site and he was videotaping us, videotaping everyone, every protester, and he was also using his headset to communicate to someone over the phone. And he didn't even acknowledge my greeting. And when I tried to engage him, asking him, "Are you a reporter? Why are you videotaping us?" He did not want to say anything to me. He was just videotaping. He was taking notes, and then when I further probe why you're here, he just disappeared. So it's very very interesting, and we're not surprised if someone who tried to minimize our presence or even want to remove us from the site, because this is a very public, very visible place, and especially our messaging is very, very direct. I mean, we actually print the lawyers' pictures on our poster. We showed Frank Lopez, who is the chair of the Paul Hastings. We showed the picture of Luke Despin. We showed the picture of Nicholas Bassett and another lawyer on our posters. And we tell people these are the lawyers from Paul Hastings who have been aiding and abetting the Chinese Communist Party to persecute the Chinese whistleblowers. They're trying to destroy the Chinese dissidents on the U.S. soil, and they have been weaponizing the U.S. court system and judicial system to be used by the CCP to destroy the rule of law foundation in this country. And so I've also interviewed quite a few people who walked by our protest site, and one of them is a Jewish American lawyer. He has been practicing law for over 30 years. He represents the laborers, the workers who filed lawsuit against Paul Hastings' clients. And he told me Paul Hastings is very well known for representing big and powerful corporations. And a lot of these powerful big corporations are good at exploiting the workers for mistreating the workers. So the Jewish American lawyer I was interviewing, he helped those underdogs. He helped the workers to file lawsuit against Paul Hastings' client. So he says he would not be surprised that Paul Hastings would have chosen the world's most powerful dictatorship to represent, because the CCP has money, and the CCP's money comes from the Chinese slave laborers. Okay, and so all the legal fees paid for to the Paul Hastings to look, coming from the Chinese concentration camp, from the labor camps. And I also asked this Jewish American lawyer, what is the most important thing for American law practitioner? And his answer is very straightforward. It's a rule of law. Rule of law. He says no matter how powerful that person is, no matter what government position he held, there's an equal application of law. And I challenged him. I said, equal application of law only happens when you have equal amount of money to fund your lawsuit. And he agreed. He says, this is a capitalist country. There are people who don't have the money to hire the best law firm, to hire the most powerful lawyer to defend for their justice. And so that's why he really appreciates the Chinese dissidents, the victims of the Chinese Communist Party, coming out here to the Grand Central location to protest and to let people know that there are law firms like Paul Hastings who have been, helping the CCP to persecute the Chinese dissidents. And he also raised a very, very important point. He says, shouldn't this be the U.S. government job to pass legislations to place sanctions against the Chinese government officials who have been involved in the crimes against humanity? Of course, we have been hearing over and over and over again that the members from the Congress, from the Senate, from the U.S. Senate, saying that they want to place sanctions against the CCP's members and officials who have been involved in the Uyghurs concentration camp, in the persecution of Falun Gong, but it hasn't happened yet. And so he says this should be made to the top attention of the Congress at Capitol Hill. The U.S. members of the House representatives and the U.S. senators should pay close attention to the CCP's crimes against humanity and place sanctions against those Chinese government officials. And so I also asked him that, what about the American lawyer? He said, in this country, people can choose anything to represent. I mean, you also have the freedom to represent Nazi or demon, because this is a free country. But ethically and morally, people want to choose to represent to represent the persecuted, to represent people who need the most help to defend their right from being abused by the most powerful institution, by the elite group. So he agreed with me. So I'm going to have people to post this full interview on NFSC Speaks. And so we'll be reporting live about what's going on. And so this is a battlefield, and we are fighting a very important fight to defend the rule of law. So this is not only for the Chinese dissidents, but also for the integrity of America's judicial system. Thank you so much. We'll come back in the afternoon. Thank you.